Hello, Mini Masters. In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to make a skyline at dark of really tall buildings. So in the story that we're reading, same, but different. One little boy talks about how he lives in a big city and the big tall buildings block out the sun. So we're going to be making some skyscrapers today. So what I like to use is some black construction paper. It really makes these buildings stand out, but you can use white, any color actually. I chose a really big long one, but you can do one that's half this size. You don't have to use a big one, but kind of fun to lay them all out. And then I just grabbed some extra scrap. These are all scrap papers of colored construction paper, all different colors and shapes and sizes. I really like to reuse the papers that I have. I need some scissors and some glue, and then a black marker, a white crayon, or white gel pens if you have some. But then also some stick glue might be better for this one too. So what we're going to do is just make big skyscrapers. So they don't have to be perfect, but we are going to practice cutting out using our scissors to cut. Now some of the pieces that I have are already triangles, so I'm going to put those aside, and those I can kind of use over here. But then the rest of my kind of scrap paper, they're not all the way rectangles, some little squares, and then you can overlap them if you want, or they can be at different angles and things like that. We want to try to get a variety of buildings, super tall, really little, all sorts of colors. And you can keep these little tiny pieces here, because what we're going to do is you can actually cut these up like so and make little windows and doors out of them. So you just make sure this is a really nice big piece. So we just want to make our geometric shapes here. So I'm looking for big, long rectangles. Be big skyscrapers. I kind of like the way the top looks here. I'm going to leave that like that. So this is a good way to practice your cutting skills and your shapes. If it's easier, you can always take grown-ups. What you can do is you can trace big shapes out on a piece of paper and have your little one kind of practice. So any way that works for you, you just want to get a variety of different colors and sizes all along your skyline here. So go ahead and keep going with that. Just finding different pieces to cut up to make my skyscrapers. This one looks kind of cool like this. There we go. And then remember, keep these little pieces, because then you can cut these up into little windows and little doors, or they can become bricks, so they can become accessories on your skyscraper. So go ahead and do that. Cut out all your pieces and glue them down. It can be in any shape or size, any direction. I chose to kind of do mine that look like this. So glue these down. It might be a little bit easier to glue them down with the stick glue. And then you can come back over and do make little doors or little windows. That's also what we have our marker for, is to make little windows. All right, once you have all of your buildings and all of your windows put up, I got a little crazy with my windows, so I got them all over the place. They're all different kinds and shapes. They're very geometric and they're very abstract. So once you've got all your skyscrapers and all your windows in, now you can fill them in with window details and different little details with your marker. So I've got the main part of the windows, but if you want to come back through and put in windows like this, you can, or you can go right on top of the colored paper. These are just going to be different types of windows. And your windows can be blank. They don't have to color them in. They can be big long windows like this. I'm just doing whatever I feel looks good for my skyscrapers. So these are going to be really kind of modern skyscrapers. So you come through and you do that, and maybe put a little door handle on your doors. You know, maybe even little people walking into your buildings. That is up to you. The sky's the limit, pun intended, because we have skyscrapers. So just keep filling in your little windows. Again, if you don't want to use a marker, if you don't want to fill in the windows like this, you don't have to. This is just kind of another fun way to practice our squares and practice coloring inside of the lines. So I'm going to put another set of windows inside of this window. Okay, so just keep going to all your little buildings, add in your little accessories with your markers. And then since it is at night, we're going to put some stars. So if you have a white crayon, go ahead and get your white crayon out. And we're just going to make little X's all over. Little X's or even little just circles or dots. These are going to be our stars. And you can even do this. Might take a while if you do it that way. Plus it's a little loud. So you just want to take, and it's not so bad if you have a smaller black paper. This is also where you can use the white gel pen if you have one. You can do that as well. They don't show up as well as the crayon, but you can certainly do these in little polka dots all over the place. We're just trying to create the illusion of some stars in our night sky. You could also do this with paint. If you want to do it with paint, you could use a Q-tip and some white paint. I would do that first on your paper and then let it dry. And once it's dry, then you can go ahead and glue down your buildings. But if you don't want to use paint, if you'd rather do it this way, this is a good way to do it. You can do it afterwards, and you can use your gel pen or you can use a white crayon. So they almost look like snowflakes, but they are stars in the night sky. There you go. There is our cityscape with all the skyscrapers.